Welcome to another edition of Northern Heat. My name is Bob Lennon, president of ThermalWood Canada and host for the show today. And I want to welcome our special guest, Ken McLeod. Ken, how are you today?
Great.
Now, Ken, you're the president CEO of the New Brunswick Youth Orchestra, correct?
Correct.
And you've got a great story to tell here, because just a few months ago, there was a situation with a commercial it was on. We won't get into too much detail, but you produced a response to that commercial. And that's kind of did a whole pile of stuff and landed you a gig in Carnegie Hall. So let's just talk about the story behind and what you do with the youth orchestra, because I think that's really the story that New Brunswickers need to hear.
Yeah, well, the New Brunswick Youth Orchestra has been around for a long time. It began here in New Brunswick in 1965.
Really?
And for the first 4 decades, it was a pretty traditional youth orchestra. So by that, there's 70 kids each year, chosen by audition, the best talent in the province. Most of them, probably all of them, came from middle and upper income families.
Yeah.
Because, of course, they were the ones that could afford instruments and private lessons and so on. So in 2002, my daughter auditioned and got into the orchestra. And so that was my introduction. So I became involved as a parent volunteer and then a board member and board chair and CEO. So over 20 years now, I've been, intimately involved with the organization. And what I noticed, of course, is how much our kids were benefiting by their experience in the orchestra. And then I got thinking to myself, why just 70 kids in our whole province? And what about the kids that are left out? And by that, I mean not just left out of the NBYO, but left out of all the good things really that our province and our society has to offer to children and families and communities. And so at about the same time, I heard about El Sistema in Venezuela. And 60 Minutes had done a documentary film on their story.
Oh, really?
And
okay.
It came out in 2007. And it told the story of Jose Abreu, an amazing human being, an economist and a musician. And he had this idea of using music in the orchestra as a vehicle to bring about social change for kids in the barrios and slums of Venezuela.
What a great way of doing it.
Yeah. And so I heard about this. It excited me. I couldn't sleep at night. I couldn't stop thinking about it. And it just inspired me. I thought, could this fit and work in New Brunswick? And ultimately, I got on a plane and went to Venezuela.
Well, no better way to find out than going to the source, right?
And it was an amazing experience. It was a life-changing experience. At the moment I visited in early June 2009, they had 350,000 children and youth in their program every day.
Hang on now. 350,000 children?
Every day in their program.
Craziness.
And I spent a week there with 2 other board members, David Hawkins and David Adams. And we visited 6 of their 250 orchestra centers, and it was an amazing. I'll share a story. I'll remember this for the rest of my life. I remember driving up to the first center we were going to visit, and it was right on the edge of one of the barrios, slums in Venezuela. And as we drove up, to me, it looked like a war zone, or at least what I would imagine that would look like. There were crumpled buildings, derelict cars, graffiti, obviously gangs, drugs, all of that is visible as you're driving up. And the building that housed the program in New Brunswick, that would have been a condemned building, multi-layers built over time. That building housed 3,000 kids every day. And when we went in, every hallway was full of kids and instruments and music. One door after another door after another door that opened, we saw orchestras of kids full of passion and joy and this incredible music.
And these kids were all from the barrio?
Yes, yeah.
Really?
And that's the safe place for them every day after school. So So we came back mid-June of 2009, and we opened our first Sistema Center 3 months later. So it was in the basement of Beaverbrook School in Moncton, 50 children, one teacher. And if I could fast forward, we're now 13 years later. So today, back when I first got involved in 2002, we had one orchestra, 70 kids, 2 part-time staff. Maybe we did 4 concerts in a whole season, less than 1,000 people coming to watch those concerts. And our total budget in 2002 was $25,000. Okay, so think about that.
So there's been some growth.
Yeah. So today, let's fast forward. Okay, so today the profile is we have more than 15 orchestras. In September, we'll have 1,300 to 1,400 children and youth in our programs, 70 full-time employees, $4.5 million annual budget. Pre-COVID, we did 150 concert events and had 80,000 people attending our concerts. So it's been a sea change for the organization. We employ the largest number of artists of any organization in Atlantic Canada. We're the largest program of our kind in the entire country. And so it's been a really exciting story.
Absolutely incredible. And, it's an amazing story. It's a New Brunswick story.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's an opportunity for kids
Yeah.
in our province to do things.
Yes. Well, and all of that's impressive and important, and we're excited about it. But you've named the most important thing, and that is what it means in the lives of kids and families and communities and our society here in New Brunswick. So, because the vision behind Sistema New Brunswick, again, as a program of the New Brunswick Youth Orchestra, the vision behind it is to provide access and opportunity for kids who otherwise would be left out. And I like to describe our secret sauce. What are the ingredients that make this so powerful and profound in terms of the outcome for kids? And actually, maybe before I even get there, I should say our results have been nothing short of profound over this past 10 years. Just a couple of examples. I can think of Evan, who started in our program that first year in the basement of Beaverbrook School. He was in grade 1, 6 years old, 2009. He's been in our programs for 12 years. The Children's Orchestra, Regional Youth Orchestra, Provincial Youth Orchestra. He graduated a year ago, and he just finished his first year studying astrophysics at St. Mary's. It's fantastic. And the point is, we're not trying to produce all musicians, but we're trying to help kids gain the sort of the values and the attributes they need to have a successful life.
And the confidence of being able to do that. If you're able to get up in an orchestra and play and being part of that team, which is so important, especially in an orchestra.
Yeah.
And then after that, you can do whatever that you want to do.
Exactly. And so we have two of our kids who are in medical science at Dal. We've got one doing linguistics at Memorial, another one doing social work at UDM. We've got a number of our students in music schools. Here's the exciting thing there. For the kids that want to pursue that as a career, they're getting entrance to the largest schools in Canada with the top scholarships. So the 3 biggest schools, McGill, U of T, Western, we have kids in those programs with top scholarships. So it's pretty exciting. So we're seeing these profound outcomes, and I would point to 4 things. We actually, Sistema was literally designed from the ground up to counter the negative impacts of being left out. Yeah. Okay. And being left out, that means economically disadvantaged, children of immigrant families, other sort of at risk.
Everything you can think of.
Right. And that's what we prioritize. So there's a couple of key ideas. One of them is inclusion. That's not so uncommon, but for us, that means we're going to give kids who otherwise wouldn't have a chance the opportunity to be involved. The second one is intensity. So for us, that means our kids participate 3 hours after school, 5 days a week, 10 months of the year. So
That's a major commitment.
that's 600 hours a year with a really experienced, knowledgeable teacher, right? So, and here's why we're so committed to this idea of intensity. I think all of us know that to get really good at something takes at least two things: time and effort. I don't think there's any other path to achievement. Is there? Time and effort. You've got to, there's no shortcut. I guess that's the key message, right? It's every day, every day, every day, every day. So what happens is, I call it this magical moment of self-awareness. And we see this in all of our kids. At a certain moment, it's like a light bulb, and they connect the dots between my hard work and effort every day and my achievement in music and as part of an orchestra. And it's like, I can do things, right? They understand their capacity as a human being, and that can be transformational. So that's such an important part of what we do. And then the third principle is excellence. So we believe that regardless of your background, you can achieve at the highest levels, right? It doesn't matter your economic status, where you come from, none of that. All kids have the capacity to be great. And so that infuses our thinking and our program. And the last one is we are ensemble based. So what I mean by that is our kids learn in groups from the first day and all the way through. So see, in a group setting, they're learning focus and discipline. They're learning to respect their seatmate. They're learning empathy as they work with others. They're learning teamwork and cooperation. So many important and positive attributes are gained in this context. And you put all that together, and it's not surprising that this experience is transformational in the lives of kids.
Well, it's just an amazing, amazing story. And just to tie it all back is that you have an opportunity and you've been invited to go to Carnegie Hall. And when is that?
Yeah, how cool is that? I love, the old saying, how do you get to Carnegie Hall?
Yeah.
Is practice, practice, practice. Well, that fits for us, doesn't it? Our kids are working hard every day. And so, we produced a 1-minute response to a television commercial that really disparaged young people and music. And so we thought, that's not the world that we know. We know the world of kids and talent and performance excellence. So we sort of felt compelled to reply to that. So we created this 1-minute video, and it literally went viral all over the world. Within 5 days of putting that up, we had a letter from the organizers of a performance event at Carnegie Hall inviting us to participate in June of 2023. So it's called the Viennese Masters Orchestra Invitational. They have 4 orchestras chosen by audition, and they offered one of those 4 positions to the New Brunswick Youth Orchestra based on our 1-minute video response. And this video, there's something called two-set violin in Australia. These are these 2 young, hip, contemporary classical musicians, and they have this video blog. They did a story on our video, and that has 500,000 views. And then we've got Classic FM in the UK with 3 million subscribers. They did a story on our video. Anyway, it's been quite astonishing. But the result is our kids will be preparing all year, and then on the buses in New York and on the stage at Carnegie Hall in June.
They say, a lot of people say often enough that there's nothing going on in New Brunswick, and what you're doing and the amount of kids that are involved in your program and what you're able to do for them and the talent that exists in our province. And the fact too, that you're able to use that 1-minute video out there to be able to get that word out.
Yep.
And so if anybody wants to just Google YouTube and just go New Brunswick Youth Orchestra, they should be able to find that, correct?
That's right. Yeah, New Brunswick Youth Orchestra or Sistema New Brunswick. That will get you to our site. And I can't finish without making one more plug. So in the past year, we spent time thinking about what does the next chapter look like for Sistema New Brunswick. So we're at just over 1,000 kids. We know the impact. We know there's still too many kids left out. So back in November, so 6 months ago, we announced 10,000 children. So that's the next chapter for Sistema New Brunswick. We'll more than double in size to 2,400 kids every day. That's it. That's it.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll more than double in size to 2,400 kids every day. And over the life of the plan, we'll engage 10,000 New Brunswick children. That is a big number. It's going to be seen, heard, and felt in New Brunswick. That will be transformational in New Brunswick in terms of reducing, maybe for the first time in 3 decades, the child poverty level in our province. So it's pretty exciting.
This is an amazing story, and I really want to thank you for being able to share that with me today, and for us to be able to put this out on our wavelength through the Northern Heat. And listen, my hat's off to you, to all the volunteers that are with you. And I can't say it again. It's just absolutely amazing that this is happening.
It's been done by New Brunswick and New Brunswickers. It's a really exciting and be proud story.
Well, it goes to say we can do stuff. We keep talking about this all the time, that we have the technology, we've got the people, we've got the knowledge in our own province, but we don't think about it.
Yeah.
And here's another example of that great story. So, Ken, thank you very much. Thank you as a person from the province and a member of the province and a proud New Brunswicker. I appreciate all the work that you're doing here, and it's up to everybody else. And this is a situation that you can share. Share this video, share this story, go on their website, go look at what they've done, because I think that this is absolutely incredible. So
thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Well, it's been a pleasure for me too. There we are. Another edition of Northern Heat for this week, the place you come to listen to the stories that haven't been discovered yet.